So you've heard Fund&Grow can get you up to $250,000 in 0% business credit cards. And you're wondering if it's legit or if you actually qualify. Here's the truth. Fund&Grow is a real service. They've been around since 2007. They work with banks to help clients stack multiple business credit cards with 0% intro APR periods. That part is not a scam. But here's what most people miss. Qualifying is harder than the ads make it sound. You need a decent personal credit score, usually mid-600s or higher. You need at least 2 years of credit history, and you have to handle multiple hard inquiries in a short window. If your credit's trashed or you just started building it 6 months ago, this probably isn't your move yet. Now, let's talk about how it actually works. Fund&Grow doesn't lend you money. They're not a bank. They're a concierge service that guides you through applying for real business credit cards from real issuers: Chase, Bank of America, Citi, American Express. They help you fill out applications, coach you on what to say, strategize which cards to apply for and in what order, and they charge you a fee for that service. The fee is usually a percentage of the credit you get approved for. If you get approved for $100,000 in credit lines, you might pay them $8,000 to $12,000, sometimes more. That's not the scam. That's the business model. It does mean you need to be ready to pay up front or finance that cost somehow. Here's where people get tripped up. They think Fund&Grow will magically fix their credit or guarantee approvals. It's not like that. If the banks say no, the banks say no. Fund&Grow can't force an approval. What they can do is maximize your chances. They know which banks are lending, what those banks are looking for, and how to position your application so it doesn't get auto-rejected. But you still have to meet the baseline requirements. Let's say you do qualify. What happens next? You go through their process, usually a few weeks. You apply for multiple cards. Some you'll get, some you won't. The goal is to stack enough approvals to hit that big number, 50,000, 100,000, maybe more. Each card comes with a 0% intro period, usually 12 to 21 months. That's your window. You can use that credit to fund your business, pay for inventory, cover payroll, launch a marketing campaign, whatever you need. But here's the catch. You have to pay it back before the intro period ends. Once the 0% expires, the interest rate kicks in. Usually high, 18 to 22% or more. If you're not disciplined, you can end up in a worse spot than where you started. Let me give you an example. Someone gets approved for $75,000 across 5 cards. They use $50,000 to buy inventory for their e-commerce store, planning to sell the inventory and pay off the cards within a year. 6 months in, sales are slower than expected. They're juggling minimum payments on 5 cards. The 0% periods are ticking down and panic sets in. That's the risk, not the service, but what you do with the credit once you get it. On the flip side, I've seen people use Fund&Grow credit to scale a business fast. They had a plan, executed it, paid it off on time, and came out ahead. So it really depends on your situation. Now let's talk about who this makes sense for. If you've got a real business, revenue coming in, a clear plan for how you'll use the capital and pay it back, and solid credit, then yes, this could work. But if you're just starting out, or your credit's shaky, or you don't have a solid payback plan, you're probably better off waiting. Build your credit first, get some revenue, then come back to it. One more thing, Fund&Grow isn't the only option. There are other credit stacking services out there. Some charge less, some offer different support levels, so it's worth shopping around. But Fund&Grow is one of the bigger names, and they've been doing this longer than most. Bottom line, Fund&Grow is not a scam, but it's not a miracle either. It's a tool, and like any tool, it works best when you know how to use it. If you're thinking about applying, make sure you understand the timeline, the requirements, the costs, and the risks. And if you're not sure, talk to someone who's been through it, or reach out to their team and ask questions. A good concierge service should be willing to walk you through it before you commit. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. We break down funding options like this every week. If you're serious about exploring Fund&Grow or other credit stacking strategies, check the link in the description. Let's help you make the smart move for your business.